The world was in doubt, but sport was never. How close did we come to not having Tokyo 2020 at all? But what a privilege it is to have the Olympics finally, and day 12 of action about to begin. Welcome to the DD Network. I'm Sridhar, and with me in the studio today is Sakshi Mandwal. Sakshi, good morning and a warm welcome.
Good morning, Shri, and a very warm welcome to you too.
Thank you so much.
And a very warm welcome to all our viewers who are joining us right now. Of course, as Shri just told you all, that it is day 12 of the event today. And if we were to have a look at yesterday's event, it turned out to be a very disappointing day for the Indians. But as we say in sports, it is win some, lose some. After all, a game is all about winning and losing. If one team goes on to win, the other one loses. And yesterday was clearly not the day of the Indians, Shri, because it was a hard luck day for us.
Absolutely.
But we have a lot to look forward to today, and that is what we say. There's always light at the end of the tunnel, and hence today is going to be the day when we keep our fingers crossed that we will hopefully shine today, Shri.
Absolutely. Let's look forward to what's in store for us today. Here we give you an idea about what exactly to look forward to, what's in store as far as day 12's action is concerned. Things are really getting interesting there in Tokyo. And coming to the business end, now this is India's interest today. Neeraj Chopra, one of the talked about names as far as Indian athletics is concerned, is taking the field today for the first time. It is coming to you live at 5:35 a.m. Neeraj Chopra is something which you can't afford to miss.
Yes, of course. And I guess the next event that would be in queue would be the women's individual stroke play in golf, where we have Aditi Ashok from India representing us. IST, which is the Indian Standard Time, 6 a.m. We bring to you this event live today.
Absolutely. She has been a talking point for quite some time, but let's not expect too much from her. If she gets off to a good start, let's see how things go. And talking about javelin, it is India's Shivpal Singh. Didn't have a great day yesterday with the women's javelin, but let's see if Neeraj and Shivpal can do better. Obviously, we will have that coming to you at 7:05.
Correct. And the next event that's lining up today is from golf once again, where we have a women's individual stroke play in which Diksha Dagar from India represents us at 7:39 a.m. This is also something that we should be just hoping that it turns out to be a good day of game at the golf arena, if we were to say it that and look at it like that, because not a lot to be expected from this individual event also, but at the end of the day, a good play of golf would always be a good day.
Absolutely, spot on you are. And here we go. This is something which India is pinning its hopes on. Wrestling women's freestyle in the 57 kilogram category. The round of 8. It's quite confusing, round of 8, round of 16. So let's keep it at this. And Anshu will be taking on Kurachikna Iriana. I'm sorry for the pronunciation if I get it wrong. It's Belarus, and which is coming to you live at 8 a.m. Do not miss it. We do have a good chance over there.
Yes, hopefully, Shri, after the debacle we had yesterday and hard luck at wrestling with Sona Malik, we look forward to this one. And then next in wrestling today, again, we'll have men's freestyle, 57 kg, where we have the round of 8 final. From India, we have Ravi Kumar representing us up against Oscar Eduardo from Colombia. This would be at 8 a.m. IST today that we bring to you the live coverage. A lot of action coming on wrestling today, definitely. And that is something to look forward to in the day, Shri.
Absolutely. Let's see what's next. Again, the freestyle, 86 kg, slightly on the heavier side, I would say. It is India's Deepak Punia against Agyomor Ekarekme. Oh God, it's Nigerian that he's up against, but hope he doesn't pose a challenge as big as his name. Jokes apart,
That's a good one, Shri.
This is going to be a tight one, but then India slightly has the upper edge, is what people say.
Yes, of course, wrestling is the event we look forward to. And then moving on, boxing, we have women's welter, the big day today, where we have the first semi-final in the 64 to 69 kilogram category, where Lovelina Borgohain, the first Assamese representation in Olympics, is going to be representing India today in the semi-final up against Surmaneli Busanes of Turkey at 11 a.m. this morning. This is going to be a very interesting one. A lot of hopes resting on lovely Nashri today because,
Absolutely.
of course, it is a big one.
What a lovely feeling it is to take that name, Lovelina. Now, what I loved about her was the body language. She belonged. And now we have the big one coming up. Oh, the more we talk about it, the more excited we get. It was not expected to be fair, but Indian women have given a great account of themselves in hockey and beating the Australians and into the semi-final. The big one coming to you live at 3:30 a.m. Of course, PM, I should say. Excitement gets the better of you at times. It is Argentina, but world number 2 Argentina. Now, there was a time when we said Australia, let's not expect much, but we got past them. So anything can happen, so we are giving our fingers.
Of course, anything can happen because that is what the girls have proved since it's the first time that Indian women have made it to the semis of Olympics, which in itself is a very, very, very big thing. And for that, they've already made us very proud as a country on the global map. And anything from here will only add on to the good values of the Indian hockey team. But now also let's talk about the yesterday event. Since we're talking about hockey first, let's first have a look at how we started the day yesterday with the men's hockey, Shri, where we did get a good start yesterday. There were two things. We've of course talked a lot about the physical aspect, where we talk about the physical fitness of the players and how fatigue tends to sink into the players by the fourth quarter, and the opponents then take the better half of Indians. But along with that, the other thing that we noticed yesterday was how Belgium by the third quarter was also getting desperate to get a goal and get a lead because it was tied 2-2. And they were using intimidating tactics somehow to just intimidate the players, and especially the referee, by questioning every time the referee went out and said that this may be a dubious thing. And he was raising up his hand, but the players were trying to intimidate the referee, kind of creating an aura and impression to just subdue the Indian players and the referee to get the advantage, which is the psychological advantage which you talk in a game, which is extremely important. And that's what we saw. Hendricks being the man for Belgium yesterday, scoring a hat-trick. In fact, not literally a hat-trick, that 1 to 3 goals coming, but definitely 3 goals coming for Belgium, which successfully concluded the entire game for Belgium in their favor, because they were able to win the game 5-2, and now India will be playing for a bronze medal playoff finally.
Absolutely. You did mention about them being fitter, stronger physically, but the mental aspect is equally important. It was not too long ago that Leander Paes told me that winning and losing is happening between your two temples. It's very, very true. And I remember Viren Raskina once sharing it with me that when he actually played against Germany, the top side in the world, once the match was over, he counted the number of people in the support staff, the 14 or 15 they had, versus India having 4. So which means India took its time to catch up, but they have caught up. So the mental aspect of the game, we have a mental conditioning coach, a trainer for that. So yeah, there's a bit of a gap there, but then glad to see that it's getting narrower and narrower.
Of course, yes. And I think from here on, we'll move on to the next event that we saw yesterday happening, which was in wrestling, where 19-year-old Sonam Malik was representing India, and the wrestler Sonam Malik, she had a very good lead.
Things can change very quickly within a span of a few seconds. That's exactly what. Now, for the rest of the people watching it, there's a lesson: never give it up till your last second.
Of course, actually, on a positive side, on a brighter side, I'll say that yes, you said it very right. She's 19 and there's a lack of experience, but the fact that she's just 19 and she's getting this kind of exposure at an international tournament and also representing the country, this will go a long way, because the kind of way she put up the fight goes to show that she has a very, very bright future ahead of her in wrestling, because she's still a teenager, almost in the later age of adolescence, and from here on, the world is her oyster and she can go ahead and fly. Just the fact that at such a age she was able to represent India, we are proud of Sonam Malik for what she achieved for us.
Absolutely. I mean, not just her, Saurav Chaudhary just 19, he was a gold medal prospect, but the experience would keep him in good stead come the next editions. I'm sure I'll be extremely surprised if he doesn't win multiple medals in the coming editions. 19, how many years more you have?
Yes.
Unlike other sport, age is not a concern when it comes to precision sport, and that's a great sign to see. So now we are getting into another one with the javelin. Not much expected of the Indian athlete there.
When we look at Anu Rani, she couldn't even get her best, which has been so far, which is 64.35 if I'm not mistaken. She was able to get 54.04.
Absolutely. So you talked about conditions, it was wet and all that. The conditions remain the same for all, because there isn't much of time difference between two performances. So they say excellence never seeks excuses. So if you have a certain condition, the opponent also has the same condition. So in an event like this, you would expect the athletes to tide over those challenges, but unfortunately Anu Rani couldn't do that yesterday and finished 14th in a group of 15. But as we mentioned time and again, it's a great experience. Going forward, she can count on that.
Yes, and I think the last event that had Indian representation yesterday was of course shot put, and we were expecting some kind of a bright news yesterday, but sadly that was also a disappointment for the Indians. Since you talked about Kamalpreet Kaur, let's not forget that I was reading a quote, in fact, or rather should I say not a quote, but to just quote her as to what she said. I still remember very clearly Kamalpreet Kaur saying that during this tough period of the pandemic, how she had used her bed for a training and how she was using the pots, the plant pots that we talk, for weightlifting purposes, which goes to show the dedication of the athletes and the players and the amount of hard work they put into to reach the level where they reach. And then sometimes they are put under the radar and go through brutal, harsh criticism for their performance. Yes, it should always be that we need to be realistic and also scrutinize the players for the kind of performance they put in, but let's also not forget at the same time to be slightly sensitive. And this is for the viewers in general, because I read so much on social media about how harshly our players are criticized. Yes, definitely when performances are not up to the mark, that calls in for criticism, but a little bit of sensitivity when choosing to say what you say and post out there on social media could go a long way in boosting the morale of these players who are representing us on the international forum. And also, Sri, you could take the medal tally over here since we have it on the screen also.
All right, Sakshi was not mincing her words. We'll come back to that after the medal tally, the discussion on that. China with 32 gold medals, far ahead of United States at this point, with a difference of 8 gold medals, with a total of 69 medals. China is number 1. And United States in the second position with 24 gold, 28 silver and 21 bronze, with a total of 73. And Japan, which was at number 1 for quite a few days, has slipped down to third. But I don't think they'll be too disappointed with that, because still it's pretty good for them. 19 gold medals, 6 silver, 11 bronze, which means the 36 medals.
Yeah.
Australia, Russian Olympic Committee, Great Britain, Germany and France and Netherlands making up number 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 respectively.
And you know what, Shri, what is interesting to note is, of course, India is on the 64th spot right now, and we just had 1 silver and 1 gold. 1 silver thanks to Mirabai Chanu. My apologies, not 1 gold but 1 bronze. And the bronze coming by PV Sindhu, of course, which makes us with 2 medals as of now to stay there. But on the 5th spot, ROC, the Russian Olympic Committee, they have a total of 52 medals.
Right.
And that's how Olympics work, or the medal tally works, because despite the fact that they have a huge number of medals, which should technically put them on the 3rd spot in count of the number of medals, but the fact that their gold is only 13, it puts them on the 5th spot as of now. So that's how things go over here, despite the fact that you may have a lot of medals, unless you do not have sufficient number of golds, or the highest number of gold medals in your kitty, well, you'll not be there in the top 3 spots.
That's how it goes in events like this, where it's not the number of medals in total, it's the number of gold medals. For example, I have 10 gold medals and I have a total of 19, and Sakshi has 9 gold medals and she has 99 medals, but I still come ahead of Sakshi because of the number of gold medals I have. That is more than her. So I hope the viewers sometimes get confused and they feel, why there are 53 medals, somebody with 33 medals is on top. This is exactly the reason. She has explained in beautiful words that it's because of the number of gold medals. Gold. That's why we say go for gold.
Go for gold.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed, go for gold. And since we're talking of go for gold, just a quick reminder of how today's events will be panning out. The big one that we're looking forward to today is at 3:30 p.m. Indian women hockey semi-final coming up. The biggest thing that the Indian hockey team has created in history so far for the Indian contingent in Olympics, well, of course, is the fact that they were able to qualify in the semis by defeating one of the toughest teams in the world. We talk of Australia, by getting that 1-0 lead, the much needed 1-0 lead that Gurjeet Kaur got us. An unforgettable moment for India, and of course an unforgettable moment for the coach also. The video of the coach went viral that day, Shri, I remember.
It was stuck there, reproduced.
Yes.
And I tell you one thing, Sakshi, we talk about hockey, invariably we talk about Indian men. Let's be very honest about it. Now it will change. But if you look at Indian men, we were trying to, get back the lost glory. But as far as women are concerned, we never took them seriously. 1980 was the last time that we qualified before Rio.
On the 4th spot,
and we came 5th largely because of the non-participation of a lot of countries. We got to be, true to ourselves regarding that. In Rio, we qualified, but we came last. So to be there in the semi-final itself, it's as shining a thing as the gold medal itself.
Correct.
So let's produce more and more hockey players. We need that back, and it was very imperative that women also get right up there to spread that hockey fever, which once we were famous for.
Yes, of course. And when you say let's produce that kind of hockey players, I'm sure after the Olympics this year, since both the men and women have achieved a milestone by qualifying in the semis, the face of hockey is going to change within the country on the national and the state levels. You'll have more youngsters coming up to be a part of hockey. Not just that, in fact, on the front of fundings also, and the kind of money inflow that will now be put into the sport will also see a major change in its face cover, because obviously hockey has been the talk of the town and has become the talk of the town. Coming back to also talking about the game today, we're up against Argentina. And now remember, Argentinians is a team, or rather are a team who are known to be extremely aggressive, extremely ruthless in fact when they play the game. And that's how they have been perceived, because yesterday also I remember we were talking about this off air and on air as to how Argentina would be, though they are women, but as a nation, as a country, they are known to be ruthless and very aggressive in the game of sports. And yes, that puts the Indian women out there in for a very, very tough fight. Personally, for me, I would love to see a good day of hockey out there. Let's leave whoever wins or whoever loses, or rather let's leave that the team who wins should be the better team of the day. For me, I would just love to watch a good game of hockey, because right now, as a person who loves sports, as a person who loves the fact that the Indian women have qualified for the semis, for me, it's a very big moment of being proud on the team, and I think for all of us also.
I would say the monkey is off their back. So no matter how they play, we were not given a chance against Australians. We were trying to reduce the margin of the loss that everyone expected us to have, and we never thought that we're going to actually cling on to a 1-0 lead, which is kind of surprising. And the kind of rescue operation, if I can call it, towards the end by the defenders and especially by the goalkeeper Savita, that was something which I'd never seen before. So if we can defend like that stoutly, and then when I say monkey is off the back, when you don't have expectations. Now I don't think there's too much of expectation. We beat Australia, fine, but unlike men, we are not expected to win the medal.
Correct.
So now that is going to, sometimes when you're free in your mind, you go out and give your best, you fire on all cylinders. So if the women can do that today, there's no reason why why we can't get past Argentina. If we could do it against Australians, we can do it against Argentinians as well.
Yes, fingers crossed, hoping that happens. And let's also not forget, there's a lot of action being lined up in wrestling also today, with a couple or 3 events in fact coming up in wrestling. There's also a lot to be expected, because Neeraj Chopra starts the day off for us. This is also one person who has been the talk of the town. We're not looking at wrestling, of course, with Neeraj Chopra. We are obviously looking at field and track events where he represents us. But moving on in the day, there's a lot of action coming up till 8 a.m. and after that at 11 a.m. also in the world of wrestling. So we are looking at quite a lot of stuff happening in terms of how sport, or rather day 12 of Olympics today, is going to turn out.